Whether you've never written a line of code in your life, or maybe you've been writing Python for a few years now and want to level up, this video is for you. What we're covering today is a complete Python roadmap broken down into 8 clear milestones. Beginner, intermediate, and advanced, all in one place. If you're just starting out, watch the full video. If you're somewhere in the middle, then check out the timestamps down below and jump to wherever you're at. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to learn, in what order, and what to focus on at each stage of your Python journey. Let's get into it. Alright, milestone 1, the basics. This is where everyone starts and honestly where a lot of people also give up, so let's make sure that does not happen to you. The good news is that Python is one of the most beginner-friendly languages out there. The syntax is clean, it reads almost like English. Now, the fundamentals you need to nail here are variables, data types, conditionals, loops, and functions. Think of variables as ingredients and functions as your recipes, and everything else as learning how to actually cook. Would you walk into a kitchen without knowing what any of the ingredients are? No. The same logic applies here. Variables are how you store information, a user's name, a price, a score in the game. Conditionals are how your code makes decisions. Like if a user's logged in, show them this. If not, send them somewhere else. Loops are how you repeat things without writing the exact same code 100 times. And functions are how you package logic so that you can reuse it. Get comfortable with these, build a few small things to test yourself, and move on. You do not need to feel like a pro or an expert before moving on to the next milestone. On to milestone 2, setting up your dev environment and Git. Before you start writing real Python, you need to set up your environment properly. Think of it like a kitchen. You could technically cook on a camping stove and forget about all the advanced features of a modern kitchen. But having the right setup makes everything just easier, cleaner, and much faster. Most people stick with VS Code, and for good reason. It's free, widely used, and has great Python support out of the box. PyCharm is another popular option, especially if you want something more Python specific. And if you're going the data science route, then Jupyter Notebook is definitely worth knowing about as well. Just pick one and don't overcomplicate it. Once you have that sorted, the next thing you need to get comfortable with is the terminal. Now, you don't need to be a command line wizard, but you need to be able to run a few basic commands. This is where you're going to run your Python files, install packages, and manage your projects. And speaking of installing packages, you're going to need a package manager to do so. Now, some of you have probably heard of pip, if not all of you. It came out a while ago and has been the gold standard for years. You can really see it in a lot of the older tutorials on YouTube. But in 2026, the tool you should actually want to be using is UV. It's faster, handles virtual environments automatically, and is quickly becoming the new standard. Know what pip is, but learn UV. Now, the last piece of this milestone is Git and GitHub, or GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever you decide you hate less. Git is how you track the changes in your code. GitHub is where you store it online, as well as the others that I mentioned. Every single professional developer uses this daily, so the quicker you get comfortable with it, the better off you'll be. Milestone 3, and this is where things start to get fun. You know the basics, you have your environment set up. The worst thing you can do at this point is keep watching tutorials and never actually build anything. That is how people stay stuck. So build something. It doesn't need to be impressive. A calculator, a to-do app, a simple exercise planner, a password generator, something small enough that you can actually finish it, but substantial enough that it forces you to think hard. The goal here is to build something, and it doesn't need to be perfect. You want to hit a wall, figure out how to get past it, and realize that you actually can. And when you're done, push it to GitHub, even if it's messy, even if you're embarrassed by it. Almost all developers have a graveyard of ugly first projects, and if they don't, it's probably because they switched them to private when they got good. So just build it and ship it. Milestone 4, and now you're pushing into advanced intermediate territory. The basics got you building things, but if you want to write code that is clean, efficient, and readable to other developers, you need to go deeper. We're talking OOP, file handling, error handling, modules, and something that is called Pythonic code. Let's break each of these down, and first up is object-oriented programming, or OOP. And this is where that cooking analogy from earlier comes full circle. As I mentioned earlier, variables are your ingredients. Functions are your recipes. OOP is the kitchen itself. The structure that organizes everything so it all works together. Instead of just having scattered recipes all over the kitchen, you're now building something with real organization and logic behind it. File handling is where you start working with the real world, reading and writing files, working with JSON and CSV data, and interacting with APIs. Most projects need to get information from somewhere. That can be a file on your computer or a service on the internet. Learning how to work with both is an important first step towards building real applications. Then there's error handling, basically teaching your code to fail gracefully. Things will go wrong, that is just the nature of programming. The question is whether your program crashes and burns or handles it like a professional. Then there are modules. If a function is a single recipe, a module is the entire cookbook that you can pull from whenever you need it. Instead of rewriting the exact same code in every single project, you just import it. Lastly, we have Pythonic code. There is a way that Python code is meant to be written, and learning the style, the type hints, the list compressions, the clean structure is what makes your code actually readable to other Python developers. Milestone 5 is where you're pushing to professional ground. Up until this point, everything has been about you understanding your own code. This milestone is about other people trusting your code, which is a different thing entirely. Start with testing, specifically PyTest. This is how you write code that checks your own code, so when you make a change, you know immediately if you broke something, instead of finding out the hard way a lot later on. Once your code is tested, you also need somewhere real to put your data, which is where databases come in. Learn SQL fundamentals and get comfortable with something like SQLite or PostgreSQL. Almost everything you build eventually needs to remember something, and this is how. Then there's async and concurrency, and this is how your code handles multiple things at once. Kind of like preparing your sides as you make your main dish. For now, just understanding what async IO is and why it matters is just fine. You'll get hands-on with it the more you build real projects. Next, CI/CD and Docker. CI/CD is the process of automatically testing and deploying your code whenever you push changes. And tools like GitHub Actions are the most common way to set this up. And Docker is how you package your application, dependencies, and environment into a container so it runs consistently on any machine. This is also a great point to start looking at open source. Find a project that interests you and look at their open issues. Try fixing something small. The first time is always intimidating, but honestly, it's one of the quickest ways to advance as a developer. Nothing teaches you faster than reading and contributing to real professional code. Now, in my opinion, this is a milestone that is not easily checked off. You can't just watch a video and call it done. You have to start building things and getting real-world experience for any of this to truly click. That's also why at ZTM, we value applying to jobs early in the learning process, because tech is a field where the learning never stops. So if you're getting real-world experience early, even while you're still learning, you are going to grow a whole lot faster than someone who waits until they're ready. And quick FYI, you're never going to be 100% ready. Milestone 6 is where everything finally starts to point to why you started learning Python in the first place. Up until now, you have been learning Python to learn Python. But this is where you have to start asking yourself, what do I actually want to build with this? Because the path you take from here genuinely depends on that answer. Let's start with data science and machine learning. If numbers, patterns, and building predictive models excites you more than building apps, then this is definitely your lane. NumPy and Pandas for working with data, Matplotlib for visualizing it, and then PyTorch or TensorFlow once you start moving into actually training models. Now, if you don't really want to build the model yourself and just want to work with the AI engineering might be for you. This is where you get hands-on with tools like LangChain for building agents and RAG systems, the OpenAI and Anthropic SDKs for calling the model directly, and MCP for connecting everything together. Finally, we have web development. If you want to build the backend for websites and apps, this is your path. Django gives you a lot out of the box, great for getting things done quickly. Fast API is leaner and built for speed, and especially great at building APIs. Either one is a solid place to start. Just pick one and get going. Milestone 7. We're almost at the finish line, so stay with me because this is arguably the most important one. Tutorials and courses are great for learning concepts, but they only get you so far. At some point, you have to stop following along and start building for yourself. Pick something in the lane you chose and build it from scratch. Not a copy of a tutorial project, but something that is actually yours. A web app idea you have. A tool that automates something annoying in your life. A small machine learning model trained on data you're actually interested in. You can even start finding other developers to collaborate with. Building alongside other people teaches you things that solo projects never will. like code reviews, working in shared code bases, managing Git workflows with multiple contributors, and collaborating and communicating effectively about code. And last but not least, Milestone 8, the one that did not even exist a few years ago, and now it's all the rave. Throughout this entire roadmap, you've been learning Python the traditional way. But in 2026, the developers moving the fastest are the ones who are also using AI tools to accelerate everything we just talked about. Tools like Claude Code and Cursor are not a replacement for actually understanding what you're doing. But once you have the fundamentals down, they kind of become like a cheat code. You can use them to explain confusing error messages, review your code before you push it, refactor something that may have gotten messy, even game plan a new project. The developers who treat AI as a crutch and never learn the fundamentals, they're going to get left behind fast. But the developers who learn the fundamentals first and then use AI to move faster on top of that, yeah, those are going to be hard to compete with in my opinion. By the way, this milestone is not one that you can check off or complete. It is something you keep building into your workflow for the rest of your career. You can kind of look at this step as the continuous learning step. There will always be a new tool, AI or not, that will come onto the scene. But the developers who stay curious and keep adapting are the ones who will stay ahead. So treat this milestone less like a finish line and more like a habit. So there you have it, the complete Python roadmap, beginner to advanced, all 8 milestones. If you take one thing away from this video, it's that progress matters more than perfection. You do not need to master every single thing we talked about before you start calling yourself a developer. Some people out there are already doing that after one prompt to an AI. Jokes aside, if you want a more structured way to actually learn all of this instead of figuring it out yourself, that's exactly what we built at Zero to Mastery. We have courses covering pretty much everything we mentioned in this video. Django, SQL, automation, machine learning, data science, and a whole lot more. Everything organized into actual learning paths instead of you having to figure out the exact steps yourself. The link for that will be in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, please drop it a like and let us know in the comments which milestone you're on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.